Go live. Okay. Hello, everybody. It's me again, Kevin. Just check that. Okay. If there's anyone out there, just let me know that you can hear me and all that sort of stuff. Just give a type in there that everything's good, volume, um, and all that sort of stuff. Okay. Hi, everybody. All good. Thank you. Okay. So maybe I'll just get going right off the bat here. Thanks for everybody for coming to the first ever Elrond Eco Chats for Elrond partners. Today I'm going to be the host. We'll have different people all throughout. I'm here as an ambassador to Elrond partners. And I think this is a really good initiative by Elrond partners to get some people in. So without further ado, today we have Pedro Rente from dotmoovs to have a chat with us and ask some of our questions, answer some of our questions. Apologize for that. And so let's get going on that. Without further ado, I'd like to introduce you to Pedro, and if you could just give us explain exactly what dotmoovs is, who you are, and what inspired you to create this project.
Thank you, Kevin, and thank you everyone at Elrond for having me today. It's really cool to be the first the first person invited. Yeah, so hi, my name is Pedro. A bit about my background. I'm a biomedical engineer by training, specialized in neurotechnology, and that's how I got into artificial intelligence, sort of through neuro-inspired algorithms. And since I was in uni with Salome, who's our COO, we had this idea of creating something around sports performance and how we could evaluate sports performance more from a biomechanical perspective and seeing how we could detect the human body, the movements, and basically score them in a way that would help people improve their performance. Obviously, at the time, AI was not as developed as it is today. So, you needed a lot of sensors, you needed specialized cameras, you needed basically lab equipment that was very expensive to do something like that. So, life took us in other ways. And then more recently, we sort of, figured out, well, this is still a good idea. Why don't we turn this into a competition, a sports competition platform? And that's what dotmoovs is. So dotmoovs is I believe the first remote sports peer-to-peer competition app that uses an AI video referee. And so basically what we do is we allow people to film themselves doing a couple of tricks in different sports, and then it runs through our AI algorithms and provides a score, and that allows people to compete. And the idea here is that competition drives performance. So our idea is that people will improve themselves by being able to monetize their skills on our app. Everything, the whole point of this is to be a very seamless experience. It needs to be accessible to people that are not super tech savvy or that are not that interested in understanding a complex mechanism. So that's what we're working on right now. And we've recently just launched our MVP as early as yesterday. So yeah, very excited.
Yeah, congrats on that, and that's absolutely amazing. I think there's a lot of Elronders and even Elrond Indians. I don't know what Elrond warriors out there who are all already playing, and there's also a lot of people just in general out there playing. I see the tweets out there and everything. So what actually inspired you to do that though? To do this, like what got you out of bed one day and said, "I'm going to create dotmoovs"?
Well, it was actually through a chat with a partner, and he's actually one of our advisors. That he had this idea to turn it into a competition sort of platform, and he knew that I had this interest in sports performance and that I had the knowledge in deploying AI. So it kind of like, I don't know, the stars just aligned, and we just started working on it and seeing what was possible to do because we didn't know at the time. I knew something would be possible. I just thought that we're going to need a much longer development time. But fortunately, that wasn't the case, and we actually managed to develop really fast. It's obviously fairly complex technology, and we want to provide something that is reliable, obviously within certain conditions, but we don't want something that is a little bit random, because that obviously won't be good for the users. So yeah, we were very excited that very quickly we got to a point that, you know, we could actually see it becoming something. And then, yeah, stars aligned, and here we are.
It's awesome. I think there's a lot of people out there who are really excited and happy to have you on board, and to have gone and actually do this so quickly. So congratulations to you and the entire team. So let's just get into some of these questions. We got a lot of really good questions to go through, and I'm going to let you just have at it. So we have one: how does the rating mechanism work, and how can you be sure to match you to a similar rating players?
Oh, okay. So basically, people will be they'll be in a ranking based on, you know, the competitions that they win and the competitions that they lose. And then we're still defining exactly how we're going to do this, but the algorithm basically does a random selection of people within the same ranking as you. So it won't go too far up or too far down the scoring table. That's basically to allow it to be fair, because it would be really unfair if you're going against someone who's much better than you.
Yeah.
You know, and
I'm not going to go against Luis Figo anytime soon, right?
Probably not something you want to do. Yeah.
Yeah, phew. I can spare myself the embarrassment. Awesome. So yeah, so like your rating system is an AI system as well, and that kind of just makes sure that people of similar talents all go through the algorithm and get picked to play each other. That's great.
Yeah, it's not really AI. It will simply just be, it's something very simple, right? So people are ordered in terms of how good they are, their ranking globally, and it basically just does a random match. That's the good thing about dotmoovs, is that, you know, it doesn't really matter where you are. Things don't need to be synchronous as well, so it gives us a lot of options for people to compete.
Fair enough. Okay, so let's get on to the next question. What is the utility of the Move token, and does a platform have a governance model? Or modules.
So people are going to be able to use the Move token to monetize their skill. So they can put forward a certain amount of moves, and that's what they're going to use. You know, and both players do the same thing. They put the same amount forward, and then whoever wins the pool that is ready for that competition. That's the main utility of the Move token. Then we have staking opportunities, we have liquidity programs, and then we have, you know, we're preparing some exciting NFT collections to, you know, keep things interesting. Sort of imagine the old player cards that people used to collect back in the 90s.
You mean people like me who are pushing 40 who collected baseball cards and football cards? Yeah.
Exactly. Imagine that, but, you know, really cool and digital, and, you know, something that you won't lose, which is the beauty of the NFTs, isn't it?
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, and I think the monetization aspect, and I was doing some reading about you know, people and players who spend all this time on, you know, equipment and creating programs and trying to being able to monetize it. They're going to be able to use your platform in order to create competitions, monetize various things through the Move token, and I think that's genius. Yeah. Okay, so we'll move on to the next question. So how does the anti-cheat mechanism work, and how can you prevent exploits of the platform?
So in the first instance, the anti-cheat mechanism is going to be very manual, because we need a lot of videos to start building our anti-cheat mechanisms. So what's going to happen is, if someone is unsure if you know, if they actually lost that challenge, they'll be able to see the winning party's videos. They'll be able to basically see the history and make sure that it was always the same person performing the tricks, and they'll be able to see whether, you know, they actually deserve to win. Then on a second instance, if the person still doesn't agree, what we will allow is for a manual human review of the video. So people can, for a small fee, send the video for manual review, and we'll review it manually and then determine whether the score was right or not. That's the first step. As we evolve and as we get more videos, we're going to start implementing some AI anti-cheat mechanisms. So basically analyzing the video, seeing if it was always the same person, if there's something strange about the video that doesn't really add up with the timing of the day, and because the videos need to be recorded live on the platform. So that's the second step. But for now, and to make sure that it is fair for everyone right from the start, we're going to allow people to do that manual check.
Yeah, and it's all about data, right? So you need to get that data up, and until you get your data sets, you're not going to get the ability to put it, like, anti-cheat's going to work, but it'll work way better once that data comes in.
Yeah.
Awesome. So how does the arbitration engine work, and how can it be adapted to so many different sports? That's a really good question, actually, by the way.
It is a very good question. So the arbitration engine is based on a two-step algorithm. So basically, what it does is it detects the person, and it detects any objects of relevance. So in freestyle soccer, obviously the football. And that's the first step. The second step is to detect the human body. So basically, detecting all of the different key points on the human body that allow us to see where the different limbs are and track them across time. That's the basis of it. Then, in order to adapt it to different sports, and because this is a basis that can be used for any sport, what we do is basically we apply some biomechanical principles, and that's what allows us to be a bit broader. In typical, if it was a simple AI solution, then you would have to have a lot of data for each sport in order to be able to score. What we're trying to do is sort of abstract that and use this detection of the human body as the basis, and then that is much more easily adaptable to different sports. So, for example, for freestyle soccer, what we did was basically we went to the Freestyle Football Association, and they have their rules for the real competitions in the real world, or in the physical world, better said. And what we did was basically we adapted as much as we could out of that into a digital experience. Obviously, there are some things that are more subjective. They have to do with the judges' criteria, and this is a little bit more subjective, which we removed all of that. But everything, things like rhythm, variety, number of uppers, number of lowers, these are all things that we can actually measure, and these are the things that we're transposing into the digital experience.
Yeah, so this is kind of like the movies and the green screen stuff, right? And all those points that get put on there so that I can have like lasers and Star Wars stuff, and I mean, or I could be put into Elrond, just to bring it back to that. But yeah, like that's cool that you're applying that, and then you're actually taking the physical world rules and applying that to that. So it's awesome.
Yeah, it's basically that, but without the expensive equipment.
Yeah, exactly.
Because that's what we could do a couple of years ago, and with the expensive equipment, you've been able to do this for ages. And things, it just wasn't accessible for everyone.
Yeah, and that's what sets you guys apart from anybody, is you guys can just use a phone. I could right now take my phone, put that up against a wall, and just tape myself doing it, and then it spits out all this beautiful information, and it's again, I've said it already. It is quite genius. So let's next question. Who organizes the tournaments for athletes that stake move tokens?
So for now, this will be us. We're going to organize the first few tournaments. We're going to organize some tournaments with partners as well. But our idea is to engage a couple of brands. Obviously, once the platform grows a little bit more, it'll be very interesting to engage a couple of brands to just have a branded tournament and have the right partnerships for that. That's our idea.
Cool. What digital perks can an athlete get, and can those help improve their sport performance?
So digital perks improving sports performances is a bit of a strange concept. I don't think they will. But the idea is NFTs will be the main kind of digital perk that people will be able to get. We're also going to release some more educational videos to sort of like teach people tricks and things like that. So we want to have the community engaged in a more educational way as well. but yeah, the NFT collectibles will be the main digital perks.
Cool. And so, what about sports improvement? Like, let's go to golf for a second. This is a me question now. Sorry, I'm gonna just go off script for 2 seconds. So, like, let's say about golf, right? And I want to become a better golfer, and you have the data points on me, and there's my stroke. Over time, do you foresee being able to spit out info saying that I was too slow, I was too fast, I was too high, based on that sort of stuff?
That's definitely something we want to do. We will not do that unless we're absolutely certain that we're giving you the right information, though. So for now, we are focused on scoring you based on things that we are certain about. In terms of improving your performance, that is a little bit more specific because it'll be minor changes to your movement that will make a huge difference. The thing is also, the more you compete, the better you get at a certain sport, just naturally, because you just learn to do it better without even noticing.
It's like 10,000 hours or something like that, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So that's an underlying benefit, I think, of using the platform.
Fair enough. Okay, so are NFTs platform bound, or can they be accessed and sold on secondary markets?
That's an easy one. They will be accessible and they can be sold on secondary markets.
Great. How can the platform scale and ensure access to remote areas or to areas with poor connectivity?
Well, that's a bit of a difficult one. One of the things we did is allow people to record the video, and if they don't have a lot of connectivity, the video can be uploaded later. So that sort of like solves that issue a little bit, but you always need connectivity. It's a web-based kind of app, and the video needs to be sent to our cloud in order to be processed.
Yeah, I mean, connectivity is a tough one, and it's not like dotmoovs is going to be out there solving the connectivity issue in the world. It's Starlink, I think, maybe, and there's options out there that will come over time. I think that'll help, but right now, yeah, it's. But I definitely like the idea of being able to tape yourself and then have that analyzed, and then when you're on Wi-Fi or just with the poor connectivity, it slowly feeds that in. So that's a good solution. What plans to expand the application do you have? Do you have a plan to go beyond competitions and maybe even into training?
Yes, so we have a lot of plans on on the table. We're still defining, what's the exact next step we're going to take. As I was saying, in terms of training, that's more about performance improvement. So we will only get into that if we can be very sure that we're giving the correct information to our users. So that's something that we're evaluating, seeing, where or what kinds of sports we could more easily help people improve on. So let's say, for example, one of the things, avoiding injuries, for example, at the gym is a big thing. And that has to do with your posture. It has to do with the way you perform a certain movement. So that's something that we're considering. But again, we won't do it unless we're absolutely certain. And obviously AI is prone to some errors in the detection, and it has to do with a lot of the conditions and the lighting conditions, etc. So we're only going to enter that area if we are absolutely certain.
Fair enough. Okay, so some of our viewers would like to know about the recent launch of the MVP and what exactly it is and where they can test it out. Before you answer that question, I believe our own Elrond partners in L1 Warrior, Alfie, won a trick football challenge. I think it was him. So I just want to give a shout out to him on that. I see it in the chat being talked about. So I just had to give him props there.
Pretty good. Yes, indeed. So our MVP was launched yesterday at the end of the day. So basically, it was launched with our staking pools as well. What the MVP is for now is it's available on our website. So you just need to go to dotmoovs.com or to alpha.moves.com, and you'll be able to participate. So what it does is basically you'll send a video of maximum 1 minute duration juggling a soccer ball. And it will count the number of juggles. So basically, it will count the number of juggles and deduct any juggles that were done with the hand or any ground touches. So it's a very simple initial deployment of what we can do. And the cool thing is you can also download your analyzed video. So you'll be able to see the little stickman on top of your body to show you how we're tracking your movement. And then you can share that around and spread the good word of what we're building here. Um, and that, so if you reached a score of 3 or higher, we didn't want to make it too hard. You had access to our staking pools. Unfortunately, they're already closed because they filled up so quickly.
And that's actually the next question. So the staking pool is filled in a very short time. So how many hours roughly would you say?
I think it was just over 5 hours.
That's really fast. Congratulations on that. And are there plans for any more pools?
Well, that's something I cannot reveal right now, but yes, we have some stuff up our sleeve. So, people should wait a little bit and we'll come up with some news.
Yeah, well, patience is key, right?
Yes.
I think most people out there are already super happy with everything you guys are doing, and the chatter out there in some of the groups I'm in, apart from even Elrond and on Twitter, they're really excited. So I'm sure great things are going to come. And anyone who got into the staking pool, congratulations. I didn't get in, so I was busy doing something else. So anyway, so what makes dotmove unique in the AI field, considering that AI is not something completely new anymore?
Well, AI as a concept is not something new. There are new things coming up in AI at all times. The models we use are actually very recent. They're state of the art. I think what makes us unique is actually the application of AI, right? So how we use it is what makes us unique. We're using models like, detecting a person or detecting a ball on video. It's something that has been done for years now. So it's nothing very new. But using that to apply to sports competitions and, all of the algorithmic paraphernalia that we put on top of it to be able to, accurately detect the different limbs and the ball, and to make sure that, we account for any losses in the detection on the video. These are all things that set us apart, I would say.
Fair enough. Yeah, like I said, there's not much out there that's doing exactly what you're doing, and gamifying stuff. In this current COVID world, or in the new normal or whatever. I hate that saying, by the way, but yeah, it's me as an uncle of a bunch of nephews. I being in Canada and I live in Europe, during the lockdowns, I wasn't able to go and play games with them, and now with something like this, you could, and you could actually just foster relationships with people from far away, no matter where you are, and that's super unique. And the way you're meshing in that AI, it's great. And like I said, and most people are saying, like, we expect great things. So let's talk about what many want to hear now. dotmoovs is being minted as an ESDT token. That's exciting. Can you tell us a little bit more about your involvement with Elrond?
Yeah, so we're very excited about that. Elrond has I would say one of the best communities in the crypto world. So it's very exciting for us. We were very impressed with Elrond when we got to know it, because I think mostly because of all of the simplicity around Elrond. So, well, you have low fees. You have the Meyer wallet is just, it's brilliant. I really like it. I like the interface a lot. We're very excited about the Meyer exchange as well. So, it's probably one of the partnerships that I'm most proud of. And, it's really good to be here with you guys, because you guys are so engaged and so supportive. So yeah, very excited about that.
That's awesome. Yeah, and I think the scalability that Elrond provides is perfect for dotmoovs, and more so the fact that you're kind of on the forefront of taking a technology and making it better, and then you have Elrond doing the exact same thing. It's kind of a match kind of made in Elrond, let's say.
Yes, exactly.
And enough of the Elrond puns. But yeah, so it's great to have you, and I think I talk for everybody in the Elrond community, saying that we're welcoming you with open arms, and we're so happy to have you, and we can see your excitement. I can see it in you now. So, and I think that's It's great.
Thank you.
So we have some more questions. These ones are now kind of from the community. Those were ones that a few of us prepared and all that sort of stuff. So we have some that have came in from the MyR app. We did a little competition today. I just want to point out that if your question isn't on this list, it's because we already answered it above, and it was just redundant. So we'll if we didn't answer it, we already did, and you were still taken care of. What other sports and fitness type programs will we be able to challenge people in the future? Will you be going global to include fitness and worldwide sports such as American football?
That is the question I think I get the most whenever people want to ask any questions. So we are evaluating a number of different sports. There are some that are just, obvious wins, things like boxing, for example, or, basketball, for example. There are some sports that are just easier to imagine with the app. We haven't yet decided exactly which one is going to be the next one, but the idea is to expand really fast. So we spent a lot of time improving the AI that we're using to detect the human body. We're going to be using the data that we're collecting right now to improve it even further, obviously. Our idea is to make sure that we have something that is really reliable and to then expand. I cannot say for now which is going to be the next sport. I can tell you that we're evaluating a number of them.
Cool. I want to see synchronized swimming. That's
Well, that's a difficult one.
yeah, exactly. That was a joke. It was a joke. Something to achieve, I suppose. Next question we have is, now the MVP plus staking plus burn has been released. What are the next steps for dotmoovs and what can we expect?
Well, the next steps is we're working hard on our mobile app. So you can expect a release somewhat soon. Stay tuned. We have things planned for later in the year, and we really want people to try out the app and to help us improve it. That's our goal, is to involve our community and let people try it out and give us feedback. That's the best way for us to improve. That's the main thing you can expect because we're working very hard on it. Yeah.
Yeah, so translation, everybody out there who's watching, start challenging people, start getting more data sets in there, and start getting this system robust and getting that AI working, because it's only as good as the data that's inputted.
Yes, indeed.
Perfect. Okay, so we have some more questions. When it comes to sports and gaming partnerships, Elrond is particularly interested in such innovative projects. What's the larger strategy behind this? I guess I think that's more of a question for Elrond, and I guess I can answer that to the best of my knowledge. Elrond's always looking for the best and are looking for people who are pushing the limits at the forefront of technology, who are taking real world situations and applying them to the blockchain. So I think I'm going to assume, I can't speak for the team officially, but I'm going to assume when they reached out to you or you reached out to them, they saw what everyone else is seeing and the actual scalability of something like this and the gamification and the sheer usage that'll have. It's all about, getting usage up and scaling something like this. And, sports are sports, football is football, and people love it. And gamification is such a huge thing out there now. I think for Elrond, it was kind of like, wait, they're doing what? So yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I think that was it. And I think, there is a lot of, we do share that idea of going, global, and to go global, you need the right partners, right? And I think Elrond has that, is what you're saying, that the scalability factor is very good. And as I was saying before, I think, one of the things that I really liked as well was the simplicity. We need to make this, dotmoovs is not a platform just for the crypto savvy user, right? Most of the football fans won't even know about crypto. So the idea is to also expand the community as much as possible, to also teach people how to use crypto, how to use these wallets, how to, be able to stake and all of these things. And we can only do that if we have partners that allow us to do it in a very simple way and help us also educate people. And I think Elrond has that mission as well, at least from what I see.
Yeah, and that's that's one of the follow-up questions is it true that the Elrond dev team shares similar synergies? And I I would say yes. And then yeah, the other one is how would it benefit from the internet scale blockchain tech such as Elrond, how dotmoovs was, and I think we've answered that as well. And that's just straight scalability, security, reliability is something that Elrond is built upon and is a core pillar. Security being probably the biggest, and that's just it's how's dotmoovs going to benefit from that? How's any project going to benefit from that? Let
Yeah.
alone dotmoovs. Like no offense, just it's what is coming and is already here. So yeah, great. So let's keep going. We have another Elrond related question. What attracted you to Elrond over other projects?
Well, it was exactly this. It was the scalability, the simplicity, I think, and and the wonderful community. It's true. I haven't seen anything like it. It's really refreshing. It's really cool to work with Elrond, with all the partners. Yeah, it's just it's a treat, I would say.
Yeah, we're pretty awesome. We're
Yes, we are.
the Warriors and the community and all of us. We all stick together and we stand by our partners. Me being a partner, an Elrond partner as well. I've felt so welcomed and taken care of. We actually have a comment here from an Elrond team member. Sever is saying, "Dot moves is a very clever use of AI plus computer vision plus blockchain plus mobile. We found an awesome team when we connected. Instant win. Really nailed it." So there you go. That's the official
Great.
statement or a official statement from an Elrond team member. Not just my ramblings. Okay, so can this technology measure, let's say, for argument, a star jump if someone were to start a star jump challenge, i.e., how many jumps in a set of time?
Yes, yeah, it could. If we detect the different limbs, yeah, we could do that.
I think that would be a
100%.
pretty easy one, wouldn't it?
Yeah, yeah, should be.
Because it's not so complicated. It's a very straightforward movement. So,
It's much more difficult to try and understand, what part of the body is actually juggling a ball in 2D.
well, I was just gonna say that I'm like, you have a ball that's going all over the place versus limbs that are expected to go in certain directions. So,
Yeah,
yeah, cool. So I guess star jump challenge one day. Who knows?
yeah.
Um, so, how pleased are you with the adoption so far, and how hard uh, or easy as you thought trying to get the MVP out and dealing with people's aspirations for the project? Things like Telegram and that sort of stuff. So basically, I think the question is how pleased are you with how it is so far, and how have you dealt with people's general aspirations, good or bad, through the various Twitters and Telegram talks.
Um, it's been a roller coaster, It's we started our Telegram stuff, just like putting the word about the project. We have been working on this for a while now, but with the IDO announcement, etc., we started this, I believe, in late April. So it hasn't been that long, but it has been quite the ride. It has been great. The people were really excited. I mean, the staking pools filled in just over 5 hours. We were very surprised. We weren't expecting that. So, it was very good. So I think the adoption has been great. Although the market hasn't been kind to anyone these past few days. So yeah, I think it's been very exciting. The Telegram community is very active. The way we've been dealing with it is that we have an amazing team, and we have amazing community managers, and we have Elrond partners helping us out as well. So it's been absolutely fantastic. So yeah, it's been a great experience.
That's good. That's good that things are going well. And yeah, like I mean, market aside, people see promise in what you're doing, and that's what's important. The market's always going to do what it does. Just
Yeah, exactly.
put that out of sight, out of mind. And a lot of us in Elrond, the community, understand that. We understand that if you're in it for the tech and you're in it for the community, then you're bound to succeed. You just kind of have to put those blinders on and stop looking at what's going on, and because you go down rabbit holes, and then you get those people coming in saying, oh, the keyboard warriors. So
Yeah, we're focused on delivering real state-of-the-art technology, and we're focused on delivering a good user experience. Something that people can actually use, regardless of the market. So
Yep.
that I fully agree with that. That's
Amazing.
our focus for now.
So yeah, so seeing we have the MVP on the web, would it also be possible to have another with a Meyer wallet integration and have a mini challenge in the future?
It will be potentially. We haven't decided on our integrations yet, but yeah, we're very excited about the Buyer wallet. So yeah, potentially.
Yeah, and I mean, you were just mentioning April, right? So it's
Yeah.
kind of, but yeah, like I'm sure great things will come down that road in time. And to anyone watching out there in Elrond, we know that good things take time, and no one's going to push out anything that's not so good. I almost swore there, but that isn't so good. So yeah. Um, okay, will we also be allowed to wager using eGold in the future?
I'm unsure. We'll see. For now, and as a first step, people will be able to use moves only. But in the future, we want to allow other tokens as well.
Yeah, and I just a personal opinion. I think if you focused on integrating other coins instead of actually focusing on your tech, you'd actually lose sight of what you're actually doing. I think it'd be great to have other coins in there, and it's awesome that it's on your mind. But I think if you were to focus on that right now, you'd actually lose. So I think it's smart not to be going down that road just yet.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's what you're saying. We're focused on delivering the tech, and then once that is through, we can focus on other things.
Yeah, cool. So will there be a move liquidity pool on Myer Exchange? Big
Who
question. Yeah,
knows?
I can kind of answer like in time. I'm sure something like that could appear, but like we don't know. And like there's like we're all moving together, and things are happening. And as you said, you guys are still really young, and the Myer exchange is coming out soon, and so to say is move going to be on there, um, right now would just be a tough question to even answer, right? So
Yeah, I'll say stay tuned.
I mean I'd love to
There
see
will
it.
be news.
I'd love to see it obviously, but I mean good things come with time, and I'm sure if it's right for you guys and Aaron, it'll happen.
Yeah, 100%.
Okay, so we're done with the big list of questions that I have. I'm just gonna take a look and see what's in the chat here. If we have anybody out there who has any questions, you might want to ask them now. We have one. Any thoughts on a snooker and pool?
That's an interesting one. Not really. We haven't really thought about it because the thing is, that's quite a long game, isn't it? And you need to be filming yourself, or someone can be filming you. And the point here is that you need to detect the whole body, and whereas snooker and pool, it's mostly about what's happening on the table. So I wouldn't say it's our priority, but it's definitely something that would be very easy to do with AI because if you're just filming the table,
If
then
the
you get
cameras were right, though, like I think the problem there with a pool game would be the actual user, because you wouldn't be
yeah,
able to actually position the camera right. If you could position the camera perfectly above the table and take that wide angle, then it would be super easy to do because you got colors and you got
yeah,
stripes. If you
exactly.
were using 8 ball pool, if your snooker is a bit different, but either way, yeah, interesting. Okay, so we already know of two big ambassadors. Do you have any other athletes or stars who might join in the future?
That's not something we can reveal right now. We have a lot of plans, but you'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, I tried. I tried. Okay, what kind of sports and tricks can we oh yeah, I just answered that one. So it's what that's the question I scrolled up on. It was what kind of sports and tricks can we expect on the app? I think we answered that, but if you want to elaborate.
Yeah, I'll answer it again. So right now we're focusing on freestyle soccer, and that's going to be the first sport. And the next sports we are still deciding on what exactly is going to be the next move.
Yeah, good stuff. Okay, I think we're kind of done. We've answered a ton of questions. I want to thank you for coming on to this first volume of Elrond Eco Chats, and listening to you. It was great.
Thank you very much. This has been absolutely amazing. And yeah, thank you to the whole community, the partners. It's been great to be on this journey with Elrond. And yeah, we're very excited for things to come.
And this is I'm just going. This is your first live stream, right?
It is, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Great.
So apologies for how crappy my camera is. It's not a very good image, but yeah.
Okay. Yeah, it's okay. Okay, cool. All right. Well, that's. I think that's it then. We'll just kind of finish it off. There's one question there. Can there be team games, for example, one football team versus another, rather than one and all the points added for an overall winner?
That's something that we're not enabling right now. So we're focusing on individual sports. But once that is done, we will consider other things. What we need to remember is that this is a video-based challenge. So, it has to, in order to film a whole football team, it's quite the task. With one camera from one phone, it's quite a task. So we'll need to take that in consideration. For now, we're focusing on individual performance and allowing people to compete. That's the barrier that we're trying to remove. For the future, maybe, something we can definitely look into.
Okay, cool. Awesome. Okay, so I think we'll just end there. Again, thank you. And I look forward to seeing great things coming our way down the line.
Thank you very much, Kevin.
Okay, thank you. Bye.